day friends, welcome to the series on fundamental of investment. In the subject of fundamental of investment, we are discussing about the fixed income securities, specifically bond. And in the bond, in this very lecture, I will be talking about YTM and how we calculate YTM in case the interest is being paid on not on an annual basis, but the interest on the bond is being paid on semi-annual basis. That is, twice it is being paid, and how we calculate it. So this I'll be calculating, this I'll be finding out, and I'll explaining to you that how we calculate the YTM if the interest is being paid semi-annually. So let's take an example. If there is a bond of 100 rupees, it is currently available at 97 rupees. And if the coupon rate of interest is 12% and the maturity period is 5%, which is being paid 5 years, not 5%, 5 years, time is 5 years, and the interest is being paid semi-annually, what is the semi-annual yield to maturity of the bond? Not annual yield, I am talking of semi-annual yield to the bond of this bond, right? So I am presuming the current market price is 97 rupees, right? So how we calculate the semi-annual yield of the bond, and this is nothing but the YTM of the bond if the interest is being paid, that is semi-annually. So you can check here, face value is 10 rupees, coupon rate is 12%, the B0 is 97 rupees, N is 5 years, redemption value, which is the face value. If nothing is being mentioned, what will be the redemption value? We assume always that the redemption value is equivalent to the face value. If mentioned otherwise, we always presume that redemption value is equivalent to face value. So since compounding is done semi-annually, the effective rate is 12 divided by 2. As I said, explained also in my previous lecture, that if interest is being paid semi-annually, what we do is that coupon rate of interest is divided by 2 and the time period is multiplied by 2, right? So the effective N becomes 5 into 2, maturity is 5 years. So effective N becomes the 10 and the effective rate of interest becomes the 6%, that is divided by 2. Since B0 is less than the face value, what is B0? Current price of the bond is 97 and face value is 100. So YTM will be greater than the coupon rate of 6%. So YTM will be somewhere more than 6%. This is for sure, since the current price of the bond is less than the face value of the bond, right? So because the coupon rate is 6%, effective coupon rate, although it is 12%, but if you want to find out what is the effective coupon rate on a semi-annual basis, it is certainly more than 6%. So first I will use the approximate YTM. As I have been discussing this, as I told in my previous lecture also, the formula of approximate YTM is, very quickly let me repeat, interest plus redemption value minus B0 divided by N. N is the life of the bond, divided by the average of the redemption value and the current price of the bond, right? So 6, because 12 has already been divided by 2, that comes to be 6. So on a 100 rupee bond, the interest income becomes 6 rupees. 6 plus 100 rupees minus 97 rupees, that is 3 divided by 10, right? So 6 plus 6 by 10 whole divided by the average of the current price and the redemption value, right? So this comes to be 6.3 divided by 98.5, that comes to be 0.0639, that is 6.39. So approximate YTM is 6.39. Friends, we have to find out the exact YTM. So what it implies is that YTM will be somewhere between 6% and 7%. So what I will do is that the future income of interest and the redemption value will be discounted first at the YTM rate of 6%. Then I will try 7%, and by using interpolation I will able to find out what exactly is the YTM, right? So if we try with the 6%, I am not repeating what we discussed in our previous lectures, right? So the formula is interest multiplied by present value annuity factor at YTM rate for n number of years plus redemption value multiplied by present value factor at YTM rate for nth year, right. So 6 rupees is the interest, 6 multiplied by the present value annuity factor at 6% for 10 years, right. So this comes to be 6 multiplied by 7.360. So with the help of the present value table, we'll see that what is the present value of 1 rupee of income if you get for 10 years, because the time period is 10. Although the maturity period is 5 years in our example, since the interest is being paid semi-annually, so I am taking as 10 years, right. So 6 multiplied by 7.360, right. So it means the 1 rupee value if you get for 10 years at 6% rate of interest, the present value of that becomes to be 7.360. So 6 multiplied by 7.360 plus 100 redemption value multiplied by the present value factor at 6% for 10th year. So if you are going to get 1 rupee after 10th year, and if the rate of interest is 6%, what is the present value of that? The present value comes to be 0.558. So redemption value is 100 multiplied by 0.558, that comes to be 50.8. So 44.16 plus 55.8, that comes to be 99 rupees 96 paisa. So this is the value of 6% rate. It is the present value at 6% YTM rate. Friends, we have to find out, we have to equate the two sides. That is the left hand side where the current price of the bond is given 97 rupees, and the right hand side is the present value of the interest income and the redemption value at 6% rate of interest, or we can say 6% YTM rate. So whenever the right hand side is greater than the left hand side, we'll try with a higher rate and vice versa. Now let me try with the 7%. If you do the same calculations at 7% YTM rate, means 7% rate of interest or 7% rate of discount, whatever you call it, right. So this value comes to be 6 into 7.024 plus redemption value into 0.508. Since 0.508 is the present value factor at 7% for 10th year. That is, if you get 1 rupee after 10 year, if the rate of interest is 7%, what is the present value, right? So 0.508. So this value comes to be 42.144 plus 50.8, that comes to be 92 rupees 944. It means the left hand side is greater than the right hand side. This is just opposite of when we tried with the 6%, right? So here, since the left hand side is larger, it means we'll have to try with a higher rate, lower rates. We have already tried with the 6%. So it means very clearly that somewhere it will be 6% to 7% between. So for this, we'll use the formula of interpolation. We'll use interpolation, and by interpolation, we'll get exact YTM, right? If the interest is being, I'll say semi-annual YTM, because in our example, we are taking semi-annual YTM. So YTM, how do you calculate YTM? YTM at the lower rate plus the higher value minus the current price of the bond divided by higher value minus lower value into higher YTM minus lower YTM, right? So same thing, you have applied the figure, you have put the figures, that is the higher value and the lower value, 6% is our lower YTM, right? So you put these values, what you get is 6.6 plus 0.42, that comes to be 6.42. So our semi-annual YTM is 6.42, right? So I mean, now if you ask me what an investor should do, my simple answer will be, if investor expected rate of return of the investor is 6% or means less than 6.42%, investor should invest in the bond, right? So if the investor expect anything more than the 6.42, that is, an investor expect that the investor will invest in this bond only when if the rate of discount is 7%. or not rate of discount, I will say the rate of return, which is YTM, is 7%. Then only I will invest in this bond. So with this bond, if the bond price is 97 rupees, the expectation of the investor will not be met by this bond, because this bond is giving the return of only 6.42% on a semi-annual basis to the investor. So investor should not invest in this bond. So friends, in this way we calculate the YTM, right? So this is about how we calculate the YTM, right? So I am not trying with other things. Now let me talk of some other things. YTM in case of a zero coupon bond. How do you calculate YTM if the bond is zero coupon bond? Friends, in my previous lectures on types of bond, I talked about what is zero coupon bond or deep discount bond. Basically, zero coupon bond is that bond on which no interest is being paid by the issuing company. The only thing is that there is a large difference between the issue price and the redemption value, right? Means these bonds are being issued at a very deep discount of its redemption value, or you can say face value. Say if the bond is of 1 lakh rupees, that is a company issues a bond of 1 lakh rupees, which it will be redeeming after say 15 years, 20 years or 25 years. This bond is being issued at a price of say 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, right? No interest is being paid during the lifespan of the bond, right? A company issues the bond, say the company issues the bond at 10,000 rupees, and it says that it will redeem this bond after 15 years and will pay 1 lakh rupees. So this type of bond is called deep discount bond or the zero coupon bond, right? So friends, how you calculate the YTM means what is the yield, or simply speaking, what is the yield of this bond, right? So the formula of, or the methodology of calculating the rate of return of this bond is that redemption value divided by 1 plus YTM raised to the power n. N is the time period, remaining time period, right? So which you can say, so B0 is equal to redemption value multiplied by present value factor at YTM for n number of years, right? So if you use this, you can find out that what is the, so n is the life of the bond in years, RV is equal to redemption value, YTM is yield to maturity. Now let me explain this with the help of an example. The market price of a bond is 1 lakh rupees par value, right? Zero coupon bond maturing after 15 years is rupees 3,000. That is, the company is issuing a bond of at the cost of rupees 3,000, and the redemption will be done after the 15 years of rupees 1 lakh. That is, at the time of redemption, the company will be paying 1 lakh rupees. So issue price is 3,000 rupees, redemption value is 1 lakh rupees, time is 15 years. So what is the yield? Investor would like to know what return the investor will be getting with if the investor invest in this bond, right? So we'll use this formula. B0 is equal to 3,000 rupees is equivalent to 1 lakh multiplied by present value factor at YTM rate for 15 years. So if you take this 1 lakh rupees on left hand side, it comes to be 0.03 is equal to present value factor at YTM rate for 15th year. So look at what we'll do is that we know that present value is 0.03. So what I'll do is I'll look the present value table, that which will what value I'll see the row of the YTM and the 15 years. With the help of the 15 years, I'll see what is where this value is equivalent to 0.03. So now look at the present value factor table in the row of 15 years and find the value close to 0.03. So the corresponding, what you will find is that if you will see the row of 15 years, because in the present value table there are two things, on that is years and the rate of return, rate of interest, right? So if you will see the 15-year row, you will find out, you will have to find out what is the value of 0.03, at what rate of interest the value of for 15 years is 0.03. The present value is 0.03. So if you will see this table, you will find at 26% rate of interest. That is, if you get 1 rupee after 15 years, and if the rate of interest is 26%, the present value of this is 0.03, right? So what it implies is that YTM is 26%, right? Because we have used the formula 3000 is equal to 1 lakh multiplied by present value factor at YTM for 15th year, right? So this is 3000, 0.03. So I have to find out the value of 0.03 at a corresponding row of 15 years. So this comes to be, this is equivalent to 26% rate of interest. That is, YTM in our example is 26%. In this way, we can find out the rate of return or rate of YTM at, or we say yield to maturity at, in the case of zero coupon bond. Other important thing is, friends, yield to call. If you recollect, when I was talking of different types of bond in my previous lectures on this fixed income securities, one of the type of the bond is callable bond and puttable bonds. Let me repeat what this callable bond and puttable bond means. Callable bond means are those bonds on which the issuing authority, that is the issuing company, can redeem the bond after a period of time. It has an option, that it is the option of the company. Right? Say for example, 100 rupee bond is being issued for 8 years at 10% rate of interest. Coupon rate is 10%. Company keeps a call option that after 3 years, if it so desires, means if the company desires, it can pay back the money of the investor after paying 3% interest, after paying 3 years interest, means interest is already being paid annually, right? So after 3 years, if it so desires, it can redeem the bond. That is, it will pay back the bondholders. In which situations, if you recollect, I said, in a situation, if the rate of interest is falling in the market, in that case, the company keeps this option with itself that if the rate of interest falls, then it can pay back the money. The idea is, supposing at the time of issue, the rate of interest was 12%. At present, the rate of interest has become, 3 years back when the company issued this bond, the rate of prevalent rate of interest or of that type of company was 12%. Now the rate of interest has fallen. It comes to be 8%, 9%. Company feels that it is not desirable to keep the money at 12% rate of interest. It is since it can raise the money at 8%, why to pay 12% to the bondholders? So for safeguarding itself, company keeps this option, right? Or company can keep this option. Means it is in the benefit of the company, but at the time of issue itself, the bondholders who subscribed this bond, they knew it, that company can pay back the money. Supposing the rate of interest did not fall in the market, or it doesn't fall in the current scenario, doesn't fall. So in that case, company will not use this option, right? So this is are called callable bonds. Puttable bonds are opposite of it. In the puttable bonds, it is the option of the bondholders, right? So that in the puttable bonds, company gives the option to the bondholders that if the bondholder so desires, right, then in that case, after the predetermined period, the bondholders can pay back, get their money back. Now it will not be option of the company, it will be option of the bondholders. Anyway, friends, here we are talking of yield to call. So as I said, callable bonds are those bonds on which company has an option to pay back the money after the predetermined time period, right? As a time of the issue of the bond itself, this time period is being determined. So how we calculate the yield on this bond? The yield of this bond is being, this type of bond is being calculated exactly in the same manner, the manner in which I just discussed with you the yield to maturity. The only difference is that in callable bonds, the maturity period is being treated as not the full maturity period of the bond. Maturity is being treated as the period after which the company can exercise the call. In my example, I just talked, if the bond of 100 rupees is being issued at 10% rate of interest for 8 years, and the company has a call option of 3 years, after 3 years, right? So the maturity period will be, the redemption period will be treated as, the N will be treated as 3 years, right? So what money the company will give after 3 years means what will be the maturity value if the company decides to redeem the bond after 3 years, what will be the redemption value of 3 years, because that also will be given at the time of issue of the bond itself. So this redemption value will be taken as the call value, means the at the time of the call what value the company will give, what value the company will give to the shareholders. Otherwise the calculation methodology is same. So calculation of YT is similar to YTM, except that here we can call price in place of redemption value and time to call in place of time to maturity. That is, whatever the maturity is, that is time to call. In 3 years, so I will say time to maturity is 3 years. I call in place. So the formula is, means the way we calculate YTM, similarly we calculate YTC, yield to call. So B0 is equal to summation of time period is 1 to n and interest multiplied by, means the time period is from 1 to n years, interest for the period T, that is T here is only the callable period, that is if the callable is after 5 years, so interest for 5 years will be taken, divided by 1 plus YTC plus call value, that is nothing in YTM we call it redemption value, here we are calling it call value, means after 5 years or after 3 years, whatever the call period is, what price, that is how much the company will give back to the bondholders, that is called call value, divided by 1 plus YTC raised to the power this NC. NC means the period after which the call option can be exercised. So this formula becomes B0 is equal to interest into present value annuity factor at YTC rate for NC period, NC means callable period, plus current value, the callable value multiplied by present value factor at YTC rate for callable period, right? The call, right? So if you use this formula, you can find out the current price of the bond. Again, friend, you can note here, the only difference is that in YTM we use the term YTM maturity period. Here maturity period is nothing but the period after which the company can use the call option. If the call option is being exercised after 5 years, can be exercised by the company after 5 years, so I will say call period is 5 years, right? And if the at the time of exercising the call, 100 rupee bond company will be paying say 105 rupees, so I will say the call value is 105 rupees. If the company says at the time of exercising the call it will be paying 98 rupees on a 100 rupee bond, I will say call value is 98 rupees, right? So I will not take the full time period of the bond. The time period of the bond is, say example, 10 years. I will not take this 10 years maturity period. I will take only the period after which, or the period at which the company can exercise the bond, right? So in this way you can use NC is year to call, CV is callable value, I have already explained, interest T, interest amount received per year, B0 is the current price of the bond, and this way we calculate YTC, right? So friends, I am not telling you the full example because exactly it is the same the way we use the YTM. Only thing is that you can find out the call value, you can find out the period, same you use the approximate formula. So I will say interest plus call value minus B0 divided by call period, divided by the whole divided by the call value, the average of call value and the current price. This way you can find out approximate YTC. Very quickly, just I am referring, let's take an example. Mr. Satyam buys a 1000 par value bond carrying coupon rate of 10% per annum at 1030, that is a B0 is 1030. The bond will mature after 5 years from now at par. If the bond is callable after 3 years, the maturity period remaining is 5 years, but the call option can be exercised after 3 years, right? So for all practical purposes our maturity becomes 3 years for calculation of YTC, and the call value is, that is after 3 years company has promises to pay 1050 rupees. So find out the yield to call, right? So first I'll use the approximate formula. By using the approximate formula, the value comes to be 10.26, right? So interest 100 rupees plus the callable value 1050 rupees minus the current price of the bond 1030 divided by 3. Since I am not taking here, friends, 5 years now, maturity period remaining is 5 years, but the callable period is after 3 years. That is, the company can exercise the call option after 3 years. So I am taking only 3 years, right? So 1050 minus 1030 divided by 3, right? Whole divided by the average of the current price of the bond and the maturity value of the bond at the time of call option, right? So company after using at the time of using the call option will be paying back 1050 rupees. So 1050 plus the current price 1030 divided by 2. So this comes to be 10.26. So what I'll do, in order to find out the YTC, I'll try with 10%, then I'll try with 11%, right? So 11% the value is 1011 rupees. At 10% the value is 1037 rupees. What is the current price? 1030 is not equal to 1037, right? So again I will use the interpolation. So by interpolation this value comes to be 10.28, right? So friends, in this case the YTC is 10.28%. So this way we can calculate yield to call, right? So friends, I am not taking the same example again. See, the way you calculate YTC, now I'll be talking of holding period return. What is holding period return? We have talked about YTM, we have talked about the yield, we have talked about YTC. Now I am talking about holding period return. What is this holding period return? Holding period is the investment horizon during which the asset is held by the investor. That is, it starts when the asset is being purchased and ends when it is sold, right? A bond is being issued for 10 years and an investor purchases it after 5 years. That is, at the beginning of the 6th year, I am purchasing the bond from the market. I have purchased the bond at a particular price from the market and I am selling it after a period of time, right? So during the period for which, supposing I purchased at the beginning of the 6th year and I keep this bond up to the 8th year, the life of the bond is 10 years, I keep it for 3 years. If I retain this bond for 3 years, what is the return which I will be getting or which I have received, I have got, if I am calculating holding period return after the period is over, right? So if I retain this bond for 3 years, what is my return? This I have to find out, right? So holding period return, if the investor is not willing to hold the bond till maturity, then holding period return is more approximate measure of investor's return instead of YTM, right? Because I am keeping this bond only for 3 years. And if I keep this bond for 3 years, what is my return? This I want to find out, right? I purchased in the beginning of the 6th year, I would sell at the end of the 8th year. So if I keep this bond for 3 years, what is the return which I am getting? I have purchased this bond from the market. So I have not purchased at a face value, I have purchased at the market price, right? And I am not getting the redemption value because the company will be redeeming after 10th year. But for example, but I'll be selling this, or I have sold it if after the event I calculate. So after 8 years, if I disposed of this in the market, what is the return I will be getting? So holding period return is the total income earned on an asset including capital gain or loss expressed as a percentage of the purchase price of the cost of the asset, right? So holding period return is equal to T1. T1 refers to the total interest income plus PN, beginning purchase price, minus P0, that is PN is the end, means the selling price, sales value. P0 is equal to earning purchase value, right? Divided by P0, means P0 is the nothing but the beginning purchase price into 100. So if you use this formula, you can find out holding period return. So friends, we can find out the yield on the bond by using YTM, using YTC, and you can also use the holding period. You can also find out holding period return. Thank you very much for today.